Hello fishies, welcome back to another one of my speed paints. This is yet another one of our Smash characters. This one was a bit more difficult because it is our first two-person character. And this one is actually Duck Hunt, so this is the first half of it, which I needed a flying character for. Fun fact for you, the reference I used for this was a girl diving in thigh highs for whatever reason. But you know, I kind of got that silhouette that I was looking for. I very much tried to base this off of the actual, idea of the Duck Hunt mural setup where the duck is holding the dog by his tail. And so it was kind of hard to figure out how to do that pose with not a duck and not a dog. And the reference I used for the dog is actually a man falling down a staircase. Which I'm surprised those kind of references exist, but you know, there's a need for references of all kinds, and stock photos of all of those sorts of references. But yeah, as you can see in my process, I do each character on their own layer, so I can just kind of move and adjust them each on their own. I wish I had done this canvas a little bit bigger, but I really like how this one turned out. These are the main characters of a couple of friends of ours. Caspian is actually a Duck Hunt main, but the spot was claimed because, you know, I didn't necessarily want to be the duck to his dog. Regardless, I think this was a very fun idea with how it turned out. You'll notice though the costumes have quite a bit different vibes to them, which my husband said he rather enjoyed because it kind of gave the essence that this couple had, you know, met along the way instead of coming together and letting it. So with the female, I ended up doing, you know, a hat with a bill because ducks, and kind of the collar of the jacket sort of reminded me of a Letterman, and just these shoes are flats because ducks have flat feet, and I just thought it was kind of a funny pun. My sketch was pretty messy, so I ended up having to do a secondary sketch just to figure out what all was going on. But Duck Hunt is a pretty old game. I know not a lot of younger people have played the original version. My husband ended up playing it on the old arcade cabinets. So it was originally released on the Nintendo console, and they ended up, it was one of the first games that had those, you know, cliche games that you see, or the guns you see in the arcade cabinets. And I think that probably was the type of technology that was able to, you know, slowly evolve into Wii controllers and all that jazz. I don't know that for sure though. Also, a fun fact for ya, in Duck Hunt's moveset, the cowboys are actually not from Duck Hunt. They're from a different game from around that time period called the Wild Gunman. which I don't know a lot about, but that's just a fun fact for you. I think one of my favorite movesets or moves that he has is probably the kick the can move, where he just basically throws an explosive can and gradually brings it closer to its enemy, and then it just explodes. I don't know the logic of why it explodes, but you know, minor things. And then there's also like one of his movesets is the clay pigeons and like shooting those, and then of course the up B is kind of what's referenced here, which is, you know, it's usually a fall save move for most characters, like in Smash, which this one is where the duck actually grabs him by the tail and lifts him out slightly in hopes to, you know, revive from a fall or some sort of thing like that. I don't know, ducks just always remind me of Oregon because my family is originally from Oregon. They're super into football and most of them are Oregon Ducks fans. There's probably a few of you out there that are also in that boat. I don't know. My favorite thing about, you know, ducks in Oregon is the actual literal ducks. I remember many a times going out to feed the ducks, either with corn or cereal or just whatever we had on hand, which technically you're not supposed to feed them lots of bread and cereal, so corn is kind of the healthier option for ducks. But regardless, they can be a lot of fun. It's a fun time watching them, you know, get closer and enjoy themselves. But geese are another story. Geese are terrifying. I remember like one time when I was younger, there was a time we were feeding the ducks and it was like mostly geese. And we had like bread or cereal, I don't remember what it was, and I ended up running out of whatever it was that I was feeding them, and just like this massive horde of geese was just chasing me, and I ran across a bridge and I was terrified for my life, but also I think I was only 9 years old at this time, so that's a valid fear for a 9-year-old. I also remember like a goose when I was younger, and my little brother was just like still in a stroller, like unable to walk, and like a random goose just like approached him and bit his toes. Geese, like I said, geese are mean. Again, I'm not super familiar with like Duck Hunt, but I do have to admit he's got some pretty cute skins of the different like dogs and ducks you can have. There's one with like a more traditionally colored mallard, and my husband's favorite is the Dalmatian skin, just because he's real cute. He's also kind of a bit of a Disney nerd, so I'm sure that's probably some sort of semblance into that, because I mean, I think we've all seen 101 Dalmatians, and they're just cute. You know, anyone who roots for Cruella de Vil is kind of crazy. I don't know if anyone does root for Cruella de Vil, but you know, there was that movie that was released on her behalf, which I guess it was okay. I mean, like, it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. I thought Cruella was kind of cute. But yeah, and I think this is just, I did end up seeing some really cute fan art of Duck Hunt in different skins that were like cartoon dogs. Like, there was one where he was blue and had spots like Blue's Clues, and like the duck had the green stripes of Steve's shirt. And another one that was colored like Scooby from Scooby-Doo, which my husband loves Scooby-Doo, and there's this one video on YouTube that I've probably seen with him like 6 times, and I'll tell you what, it is like an hour-long video about Scooby-Doo and why Fred Jones is the best character on it. Shout out to that. We might leave a link in the description if you're really curious about that. But yeah, it's a fun time. And then the other skins that it had, there was one for Snoopy, and the bird was like all yellow to be like Woodstock, and that one was really cute too. The other ones were Courage the Cowardly Dog and Clifford. I don't know, there's lots of cute cartoon dogs out there. Another one that most people are fangirling about nowadays is Bluey, of course. Which apparently they're making a video game. I think it's supposed to come out in like November. Regardless, I know that my husband is also looking forward to that, and I've seen like half of it with him, but I know he's probably binged it like twice. But yeah, I'm more of a cat person personally, but we have a dog of our own. She is a cute husky. She's a bit of trouble sometimes, but she's a good dog for the most part. She also just like sometimes completely forgets how leashes work. Like this morning I was just sitting out with our dog and her leash was like tied to a tree, and she kept on wrapping herself around the tree, and then like I would tell her to come here and she was like stuck because she wanted to go the same way that she had been going around the tree, and she would just end up pulling her leash and she would get so frustrated, and at the same time I'm just watching her like, dude, you just gotta go the other direction. Yeah, we've gotten into the shading part, which I think I'm slowly figuring out. Luckily, I mean, I'm doing it the faster, easier way of filtering it all and just taking out the lighter bits. It's not the way a lot of people shade, but also I'm still trying to get used to this program, and luckily this way I don't have to deal with clipping layers, which are kind of a hassle in this program. I finally figured out the layout. I know you guys saw in the last video, it probably switched layouts like 4 times because I just wasn't sure what I was doing. But you'll see the markings are coming into place, which the male OC here, his OCs colors are actually based off of s'mores, which I think is a fun detail. But yeah, I think this turned out well. It's really hard sometimes to get a balance of exactly, you know, 2 characters interacting and making it look normal and natural. I'm sure some of you guys who do art also struggle in that way. But yeah, if you guys ever want like advice on how these things work, I don't know if I'm qualified to give it, but I'd love to see if I could help you any way I can. And I hope you guys enjoy watching these speed paints and watching these pieces come together. I'll continue making them each week, and yeah, I'll try and figure out things I can say about every character, but like I said, I'm not versed in absolutely every character in Smash Bros. I'm sorry for that. I hope you guys can forgive me. But nobody's perfect. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this far, and please like, comment, tell me your favorite kind of dogs, or stupid things that your guys' dogs have done. I want to read those in the comments. Thanks for coming. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye!